Good morning, beautiful ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the first edition of Beaverton Beneath the Surface. We are so excited to announce that this talk show / coffee chat will become a reoccurring thing. And if you're thinking what I'm thinking, that's 5 to 7 minutes without class or work. But teachers, don't fret. This is also some time for you as well. So chug that coffee or tea or protein drink or whatever tickles your fancy, because we are not responsible for anything that happens after the video is turned off. Anyway, we have a special guest with us today, but don't worry, you too could be interviewed and sit in the same chair and be asked the same heart-pumping questions. We all can watch that sweat drip down that knowledge-filled forehead of yours. I'm kidding. Anyway, we have a special guest with us today, Major Kossi Komlassan, our man in uniform, or on occasion sun-dried Air Force Ones. We have a couple questions for him today. Mr. K, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Okay, so Mr. K, what has kept you in the Army?
So a lot of things have kept me in the Army. Primarily, I always wanted to be in the military ever since I was a little kid. And so once I joined, I knew that that's something I was going to do for a long time. When my wife and I decided, just due to family reasons, that we were going to go ahead and leave active duty, I knew I wanted to continue to serve. And so when we came to Beaverton, I signed up for the Michigan Army National Guard, continued to serve there. The benefits are great. That's one thing that kept me going. But it's a commitment I made to myself and to the country a long time ago that I don't plan on stopping until I'm at least 20 years complete.
Wow, that's some dedication. You received a promotion. What happened and what did it mean to you?
Yeah, so just like any promotion, as you would imagine, you move up in responsibility, you gain more duties, and just like normal promotions. And so this specific one, it takes me from being what we call a company grade officer as a captain to being a field grade officer. So the significance on the military side is that now I'm more of a senior leader, a senior staff member, so now I can participate, or I can now hold key positions in large organizations, whereas before I was on the company side of things. So you're thinking more of a mid-level manager. Now I'm with the big boys, as you guys like to say. I'm now truly built different, as you guys would say. So
we're on the same level, senior and senior.
Yeah, there we go.
Perfect.
See? Just like that.
Okay, what is this drone certification, and what sort of things do you do with it or hope to do with it?
Yeah, so I was very lucky enough to have been offered a chance to take the drone certification class. Great class done by the RESD. During the class, we learned a lot about airspace. We learned a lot about the responsibilities and the laws around everything that governs and goes in the air in America here. And so with it personally right now, I've been flying around my house. I've been flying around the school here, just kind of, doing what I would like to call a reconnaissance, doing kind of a recon here of when sports come back again, or when we tend to have graduations outside, or when we have assemblies outside, and I'm asked to fly something or do a flyover, I know I can do that. Or if we need to fly across the school and do a nice picture of the school, I can do that as well. Yesterday, actually, my kids sat in the car with me, and we flew over the parking lot, and it was pretty beautiful, and I was pretty impressed at how well the resolution comes by. In the classroom, teaching geometry, there's a lot of different ways I plan to use it. The primary way I plan on using it this year is when we start trig functions. And so the way that's going to go about, I'm going to fly the drone in the air, and then the students are going to have to decide and determine how high the drone is, just based off of some calculations that we've done in class, or stuff that they've learned in class. So, yeah.
I've never been a math person, but I think that might just help me, maybe a little bit.
And that's why I took the class, so that, for those folks that think it doesn't make sense for them on paper, when we go outside and make things a little bit more interesting for them, they can see that math is useful. And it just doesn't have to be just boring. I can sleep in class. So,
I get it.
Yeah.
Okay, now time to get down to the nitty gritty.
All right.
What happened prior to this photo?
Oh man, this is This is a beautiful photo right here. So my buddy and I, who you guys see in this photo, his name is Janae. So this was probably my sophomore year of college. And so I was spending Christmas break at his house. And so being funny, this is probably my first or second time seeing snow, because growing up in Georgia, we really didn't get any. And so when I was in his house in Illinois, a huge snowstorm came during spring break, and I was like, hey, I think it'd be funny if we go outside, because all of our friends were going down to the beach, going down to Florida, and they were posting pictures of them enjoying the beach. And so I said, hey, it'd be fun if we posted a picture of us enjoying our snowstorm here in Illinois. So this is a great photo. You guys did a good job. That's awesome.
We are detectives after all. Okay, what was your first job? We're talking fast food. How long were you there? How much did you hate it or love it?
Yeah, so I've held a lot of jobs, just like most teenagers here. My first job was working at Church's Chicken on Old National Highway in College Park, Georgia. I did not like the job, but like most folks, it was a way for me to make money. My cousin was actually the person that helped me get the job. Learned a lot on the job. I learned how, people will engage you, especially for fast food workers, how people will engage you and how people treat you, both good and bad, as well as I learned being a teenager and working in an adult environment, how difficult that could be as well too. I worked that job for about, for my sophomore year to my senior year. And then after that, my last day on the job, it was the most beautiful day ever. Left the job, got on a plane, went to Illinois, and never worked in fast food ever again in my life. So been happy about it.
I did Taco Bell one time, 3 months. That was it. I could not keep going.
My heart goes out to any fast food workers out there. I know the pain. I've dealt with the pain. So.
Genuinely.
Yeah.
Okay, this is some intel we got from the home base, the fam.
Okay.
Okay. How many times a week do you forget your lunch?
Oh.
And you have to eat school food?
That's a very good question. That's a very good one. So I will say, that question is twofold. I am 100% lunch able as of 2025, meaning I have not left my lunch at home any day of the week since 2025. So, new year, new me.
10-day going strong.
Yeah, 2024, that was a different me. That guy, we don't
know him.
Yeah, we don't know that guy really well. That guy makes some mistakes. I would say that guy probably 3 times a week. He was leaving his lunch. But here's the thing though.
After school snack.
After school snack, that's right. But it did give me an opportunity, as much as I leave my lunch, it does give me an opportunity to see my wife again, because she sometimes bring the lunch to the school for me. And so, it's just another opportunity for me to say hello to my wife, give her a kiss before she,
And it's strengthening the bond.
Yeah, you know what? I didn't forget my lunch. You know what it is? I was setting up a date.
You missed her.
That's exactly what it was.
And it's really that deep.
That's exactly what it was.
It's simple as that.
It's not forgetting lunch. It's setting up a date for your wife. That's exactly what it is.
I get it.
Yeah.
Okay. What is your favorite food-related memory? We're talking like as a kid, adult, it doesn't matter. Anything, anywhere. Food fight. Everything's fairgrounds.
I've never been in a food fight. However, a food-related memory here. So when we were in El Paso, my kids, just kept asking, and for some reason they believed to the fullness of their heart that they love coconuts. And no one in my family had ever eaten a coconut except for me. And so I kept trying to iterate to them, you don't like coconuts. I don't think you guys do. But, both my daughter and my son, they're like, no, Dad, we love coconuts. I keep telling them, like, when have you had a coconut? And they're like, we've never had one, but we know we'll love it. And I'm like, okay, being who I am, we went to Walmart. I bought a coconut. My wife's like, should we buy 2? I'm like, no, trust me. We're going to buy 1 coconut and 1 coconut only for the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
We bought 1 coconut. We took it to the backyard. And they're like, how do we eat this? I'm like, we got to crack it. took a rock, cracked it open, the water comes out, so I kind of held the coconut juice water a little bit, and then I go, all right guys, here's a little bit of coconut water, we got, drink a little bit, so hand it to my daughter, she drinks it, hand it to my son, he drinks it, and then I'm like, okay, we don't like coconut water. And so got the meat of the coconut out, cut it up for them, and they took a little bite, and sure enough, they don't like coconut. And my wife, until today, we still laugh about it because we're like, we told you you're not going to like coconuts. You might like the smell of coconuts, but coconut is I like coconuts, but it's an acquired taste.
Yeah.
If you've never had it. Have you ever had coconut?
Yes, I used to get them for Valentine's Day from one of my friends. He'd always get me a coconut.
Like the whole coconut?
Yes, and I'd have to figure out how to open it.
Really?
Yes.
How'd you open it?
Usually I just slam it on the floor in my kitchen until I broke a tile and I got in a lot of trouble.
Do you drink the juice at all?
Yes, I love like raw coconut.
Really?
Yes, but a lot of people only like the flavoring.
Yes.
But the younger kids like that, they are like dedicated to what they say.
Yeah.
If they believe it, that is honest to God the truth.
I know. Trust me, I've got 2 kids. So.
And they refuse. They refuse to admit that it's not correct.
That's right.
Okay. Do you have 30 seconds to share your craziest story? Kid, adulthood, army, anything. Craziest. It can go past 30 seconds. Let's be real.
Okay. This funny moment here is I'm kind of thinking crazy stories. I've got plenty of crazy stories, but I think you'll find this one pretty funny.
Okay.
So I was at an army school one time, and you either passed or you didn't pass your evaluation, if you want to call it that. And so it was my turn. I did my evaluation, and I'm like, man, I'm sure I did really bad. The guy calls me, the instructor calls me over. We're in the woods, and he's like, man, you did really good. You did really well, man. I can't believe how nice your mission went. But he stopped us right in the middle of the mission. He kind of like, all right, everyone stopped. Let's all kind of huddle back in. But before he called, I took a purple smoke grenade because I was trying to signal something. And I held it and I pulled the pin on the purple smoke, on the smoke grenade. And he called us over. So in my hand is the pin, and in the other hand is the purple smoke grenade. And he's talking, and he's kind of like, hey, so do you have any questions? Like, you did really well. Do you have any questions? And I'm like, yeah, Sergeant. He's like, listen, you passed. You just need to shut up. You just need to go back to the platoon, and or else, like, you're gonna fail. And I'm kind of like, you know what? He's right. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to shut my mouth and not tell him that I've got this this purple smoke grenade in my hand with the pin already pulled. And so I went back and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to squeeze the pin back into this thing here. So squeeze the pin back in. And I'm like, all right, I should probably be a little careful where this thing is. So I put it in one of my pouches. Not even 3 minutes later, we're walking. What happens? Poof. Just purple everywhere, and you probably haven't used smoke grenades before, but it gets really hot.
Yeah.
And the whole pouch just starts burning, and of course, like, everyone's freaking out because everyone's like,
nobody knew.
Yeah, everyone's like, who threw a smoke grenade? Like, everyone's kind of wondering what's happening, and the instructor comes back. He's like, that's a safety violation, because you almost killed yourself. And he's kind of like, you passed. Like, why would you do this? And I had, at that point, I passed, and then he failed me for a safety violation. And I was like, yeah, you remember when I told you I had a question? That was my question. I was going to ask you if I could just throw the smoke grenade, or else, like, I was going to have to keep it. And you told me to shut my mouth.
Yeah.
And so I kept my mouth shut and kept the smoke grenade. Don't do that
fault.
if you ever.
I don't think I'll ever get in close to him.
Well, just so you know, if you ever had the opportunity, I wouldn't do that. So.
A little Fairly Odd Parent situation, like going up in purple.
That's
like
right.
a Galinda moment, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It was really more the pouch got really hot. Yeah.
Yeah, and like burned.
And burned.
And like caught on fire.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is how bad things happen. Don't play with fire.
I would have been like Barney.
Yeah. Okay. That's Mr. K in all of his glory. I'm sure there's more that we can get out of him, but that'll have to be another day. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Beaverton Beneath the Surface. Thank you all for that smidge of attention I know we have so little of. Thank you, teachers, for the time you took out to play this episode, and we'll see you again.